Thank you, Congressman. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here. Thank you, Mayor George and Secretary. I'm delighted. You know, we're fortunate that we have federal statutes and regulations that require clean water and that have to be enforced to protect public health. For me, I got a glimpse of the issue of lead-based paint when I had done a fellowship with the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development back in the 90s. There was an entire business unit at HUD that their entire mission every day was to guarantee the eradication of lead from public housing, from publicly subsidized housing, and I came to an understanding of its danger. We got rid of lead in our gasoline, we got rid of lead in our paint in the 70s, but we have not gotten rid of lead in our homes that were built prior to that time. So it's a legacy issue, as both the Congressman and Secretary quickly have aptly pointed out. The issue I need to raise here today, first of all, I was never more proud of my Congressman, Congressman Cartwright, when he interrogated the governor of Michigan. It was extraordinary, and I was, as I said, deeply proud of him. It was the quote, I think, at the end of that interrogation that said, anyone who puts money before the public health of their citizens does not belong in government. And I was real proud of Matt. What Matt has done is, what we are trying to do here today is elevate profile on this issue. Make sure that we allow our people and our citizens to be adequately informed, that they have true data at their disposal, and that they understand where to go in order to get help. And you heard Secretary Quigley mention the possibility of a family taking its own initiative to allow their water to be tested and for DEP resources to be brought to bear on that. I think that's important. Very quickly, though, to the Congressman's point, I do want to let you know that under the leadership of Senator Hughes, the Democratic Appropriations Chairman, along with several other members of the Democratic Caucus, have put together a package of bills that we think can embed in statute additional protections, if you will. You already heard the Secretary mention the issues of daycare centers and schools. Part of this legislative package speaks to those issues. So Senator Udishak, my colleague from Luzerne County, Mayor George knows well, he would like to see a task force to study this issue of lead in Pennsylvania and try to get some reporting back to us. Maybe something a little bit more in depth, a little bit more fresh, if you will, new, to have an analysis, a more thorough analysis to inform our citizens. Senator Haywood wants school buildings to be vigilant with respect to testing and to report to the Department of Education. My colleague, Senator Kitchen, is concerned about daycare centers and reporting to the DHS on that testing, even though to some extent DEP is already involved in that work. Senator Fontana, who has, before he came into the Senate, was a realtor by trade, would like to make sure that if a property is transitioning from one person to another, that there would be a similar inspection contingency standard or agreement, that the new owner of that property be properly informed to any danger that might exist relative to prior lead-based paint that might be present. And of course, Senator Hughes has talked about setting up a super fund of sorts to help with the abatement problem. And that's really the problem we face in trying to deal with this lead problem. As you heard the Secretary, he's very vigilant, and his team are very vigilant with respect to their testing of water systems. And fortunately, those systems, for the most part, are compliant, doing what they're supposed to do. And if they're not, corrective action is being enforced. But the housing stock, ladies and gentlemen, the housing stock in Pennsylvania, in terms of age and the legacy issue of lead, that's really where I think the largest threat exists. The water coming into these properties might very well be fine and in compliance with the standards that DEP enforces, but plumbing hardware in the homes that might be aged, and of course the lead-based paint issue that I mentioned, those are where the threats continue, and that's why we need to be vigilant. Elevating profile, increased testing, and doing what we need to do to guarantee that our citizens are adequately informed. So I need to applaud the Congressman for his leadership on this, for bringing really Northeast Pennsylvania sensibility to the national issue that this has become, and I'm proud to stand with him today. Thank you.